I hate to beat the quarterback thing, but I spent the last 2 days at the Mountain West. A lot of those coaches have new quarterback situations coming in, and I asked almost every one of them, would you consider using two? I got a wide variety. Some coaches said never, some said maybe. Is that a possibility for you, or would you rather go with one, or do you see a scenario where you use?
I would rather use one. I think that's the most beneficial way to build your team and consistency is to use one. But we'll see. Yeah. I mean, my gut instinct is to name a guy and support the hell out of him. That's what I've tried to do.
You're not violently opposed, though, if that's the best thing.
I'm for whatever seems to work. I think every situation's fluid. You start to become dogmatic as a coach, and I think you lose opportunities to grow. So you have to be open to change if it's going to benefit your team and help you become better.
Coach, you talked about consistency and how you guys need to be more consistent. Last year, the team had an awful lot of penalties. What have you done?
Last year, every year.
Oh, every year.
Yeah.
What have you done during spring, and what do you anticipate doing during fall camp to cut down on the number of penalties?
That's a good question. During spring, what we did is we brought officials in more, and we created more game-like situations where we asked them to throw the flag and be, very picky about what they were seeing, and then we asked them to explain to our players the structure of the rule, the interpretation of the rule, and why it was a penalty. At times, we might make a guy run a lap or something or did a penalty. I don't necessarily subscribe to that philosophy. I think one of the things that'll help us is that we've been a young team, and I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it's a reason. We've been a young team, and sometimes guys haven't been as well versed in their technique as maybe they should be, and so they get handsy or grabby. Hopefully now that we're a little bit more experienced and more fundamentally sound, we'll be able to avoid some of the things, some of the cheap things that guys would have to do when they get behind in a play.
What would you say if to an observer who seemed to think that the officials in spring ball didn't seem to be calling it very tightly?
I wouldn't say anything because I've never heard that.
Coach, in the spring, Vernon Adams said that when he was thinking about transferring, he reached out to you guys and found there was some mutual interest. What made him attractive to you as a staff?
We never had any discussions about Vernon.
Okay. He said that you guys had talked, so that didn't happen?
I never talked to him.
Okay.
Never talked to anybody about him. I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coach, Jake said that one of the big problems in the Stanford game was that they showed you guys a lot of unscouted looks, a lot of stuff that you hadn't seen before. Moving forward with a new quarterback and into this season, how do you better prepare your team for unexpected situations like that?
That's a good one, because every week you're going to see unscouted looks, and it's something we talk about and how you prepare for the unscouted looks. And the way, in my opinion, that you best prepare for unscouted looks, things you haven't seen on film that they've never shown before, is you revert right back to your rule structure. And I think that every offensive play or defensive concept should have a structure of rules that account for really anything that you may or may not see, whether it's a count system, a point system, identification system. You have to have a rule structure. And so at times as coaches, we get carried away with being so creative and wanting to be the guru and do something that's so unique that sometimes we lose track of what is fundamentally sound. And when you do that, you create real problems for your players. And so we have to be disciplined as coaches and make sure that every position we put our players in on the field has a structure, has a set of rules that they can follow to get through to get to the next play. That doesn't mean the play is going to be successful, and that doesn't mean they're going to be able to identify every unscouted look and have an answer, but you've got to work towards that, and that's what I've always found to be the case. I know defensively, it's really almost impossible to prepare for everything that you've seen on film. I mean, they show you so many different looks. So you've got to be able to follow your rules, and that's what we talk about, follow your rules. Your rules should carry you through anything that you may see that you haven't seen before.
Do you know Soso's got all his stuff out in Texas cleared?
As far as I know, he's been in school, he's doing well. He'll report on the 9th, and